Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and we're ready for another speed build today in The Sims 4. My name is Lily for new people who are here or maybe returning people who just had no idea what my name is. We're doing another speed build today and it's a little bit different because I don't have a video intro today. I normally borrow a camera to do all of my YouTubing and I just wasn't organized enough this weekend, and that's okay, a little bit different, don't need the intro anyway. It's just nice to sort of get my face on there, I think, and put a face to a name. I really like being able to connect with YouTubers and know what they look like, and I think that that's quite rare in the speed building space, in particular for The Sims. So I'm trying to be a little bit different, so I will be back with my face in next week's video if I can be organized enough to get the camera, but for now we're jumping straight into it. We are building on the lot called the Summer Home, and I believe it is in Brightcaster. This is my favorite town by far. It's just gorgeous. All of the landscaping and surrounding environment is just so quaint and peaceful and beautiful, and I thought that this was the perfect lot for today's build, which is a family home, and it's got sort of an A-frame look about it with this huge glass roof. And the reason I wanted it to be a little bit different architecturally with this glass roof is I initially wanted it to be almost like a glass house, and I have a gardener sim who's living here, and it ends up changing a bit from that, but I think that in general having such a striking architectural feature like the roof that just slants off to the side like that is a lot of fun. I also play with a bit of terrain here, so you'll notice that the house itself is up on a bit of a hill, and that lets me play around with a whole bunch of landscaping techniques that I'll be able to walk you through when we get up to it. But you'll just see me, I'm popping in now like a little basement area as well, which is going to allow your Sims to come outside into a little enclosed, I suppose you'd call that like a summer garden because it's indoor-outdoor, it's covered from the elements if it rains, but you do still get lots of fresh air and the wind because it's not completely enclosed. And now I'm just starting to really work with the terrain pieces here. So what I did was use the debug menu as per usual, and I'm collecting all of these different rocks from in there to create sort of like a cliff face to hold all of the hill together. And what I'm doing is I'm using floor tiles first to create a completely flat surface, and then once I've got all of my rocks and landscaping, I'm deleting that floor away and the terrain raises itself up again, but it leaves all of the elements that I placed while the floor was flat where they were. So that's a really handy, helpful tip to make it look like rocks are embedded and sort of inside the hillside, which I think adds to realism a little bit. So I've just gone and popped in a whole bunch of wild grass and lavender and a few bulbous bushes, I think they're called. And I'm just using terrain paint as well around the edges to make it look really nice and realistic. And I love the two trees that I pop in here, or maybe I pop in three, but that like white birch, I think it's so fancy with that little white trunk about it. It's beautiful. I think I would love to live at this place. It's got really family vibes about it. I am obsessed with the storyline I've been able to create for this house. I always build homes with the intention of playing in them, and usually I get bored pretty quick, and so I'm on to building the next house. But this time I've actually been playing with the family that's been living here for about a week now, and I've been loving it. And I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit because I feel like I should have had the smarts to do a let's play for it, because I've wanted to do a let's play for ages now, but I just haven't known what storyline to go with, and I keep feeling the pressure that it has to be really interesting and, you know, have some crazy dramatic storyline. But the one that I've been playing out at this house has just been so relaxing and really rewarding. I've got a single mum. She is a chef sim, and so she's doing really well in the culinary industry. She's got a bit of fame, and that's where she's obviously gotten the money from to build this house. You know, we all know it's from Money Cheats, but that's just the bio I'm giving her. And her kids, she has two kids, two twins that she had when she was just a teenager, and unfortunately there is no dad in the picture. He's not part of the storyline. We don't know who he is for all intents and purposes. Maybe she actually went and had a, you know, artificial insemination and had her own baby. Power to her. I'm not sure. I'm still working out that sort of backstory for her there, but rest assured I'm having the best time. The family home element of this is just so much fun because of the decorating, and I just really like injecting as much story and narrative as I can into each of my builds. I think it really gets me in the right headspace to make something realistic. And so it's a really rich house. It's a mansion. It's gorgeous. It's obviously an architecturally designed masterpiece. Just kidding. That would be a humble brag. But it's obviously an expensive house. It's really nice, and it's got lots of really cool places to hang out. So you would have noticed I just built that glass sort of pergola area over next to the pool, and I've also created some terrain paint to give me a guide of where the little outdoor grill and barbecue area is going to be. And the rest of the house is just really wrapped in that landscaping and those crazy sort of rocky elements and overgrown flowers and plants. My sim does love gardening, and because she is a chef, I like the fact that she can have fresh gardens, like herbs, growing, and just pop out into the garden and get amongst nature and, you know, living the dream at this house, really. And you'll see I'm just popping in that little outdoor dining area. I normally do really intense outdoor kitchen settings that have full-on kitchens with fridges and bins and all the rest, but today I just kept it super simple with just the grill, because I figured in reality that's what most people have. If you've got a crazy kitchen like this house does, it's a super modern, awesome kitchen inside. I just figured keep outside nice and chill. And again, just adding in lots of little plants and rocks just to make it look super scenic. And that's also my little outdoor gardening area. So I've got my little garden bed and that little beetle hutch? What do you even call that thing? Beetle hive? But I'm using terrain paint, a good trick to make it look really realistic when you place anything directly onto the turf outside, whether it's plants or furniture or whatever. It's really good to use terrain paint to help integrate it seamlessly with the environment. So that's what I'm just doing around there, and I'm just bringing all of those plants up to the front of the house as well, and using some beautiful ivy just to make it look like this house has been here for years and it's been lovingly cared for. And I've even got that bougainvillea plant growing up the side of the house there. I just think it's got sort of cottagey fairy tale garden vibes, but at the same time it's got really modern, fancy interior, which I think is a nice mix. I think, you know, if you've got the money to build a house like this and the outside can be mismatched from the inside, it doesn't always have to match. So I'm just popping in my outdoor lighting now, and I like doing this first before I put the lights on the inside of the house, just so I get an idea of what it really looks like at night, especially because once the house is full of lights, it sort of lights up the backyard naturally, but I just kind of like doing the outdoor lights first before I move inside. And now I'm just finishing off this little pool area by the side here. When you do go to download this bad boy, this puppy, from the gallery, if you so desire, you can do so at Brownflowersims. What I've done is I've actually put the version up that I've been playing with rather than the original version when I just finished building it, because I changed a few little things, just like the color of the columns, and I made that pergola area at the front sort of glass fronted instead of a half wall. Just a few little bits and pieces that I changed. I think when you play with the family, you see what works, what doesn't, and little mistakes or little areas that you didn't necessarily think of before, you're able to change and finesse. So if you do download this from the gallery, a few tiny things will be different, like the color of the stairs and a few columns here and there, but rest assured the one that's on the gallery is the best version and has no bugs, because I also get to play test it for you all. But anyway, we're moving into the inside now, and I'm just getting my layout going, and I wanted to have sort of sections housed inside upstairs, even though it is such a huge open area with those massive ceilings. So I've split the room in two with this sort of dividing wall at the front here, which has the television on it and a bit of a fireplace, getting tongue-tied. So that's what I'm building out now, and to the left, those two rooms that I've built out is just a bathroom and a little art gallery as well. Little art studio where our Sims can go and paint and relax and look out onto that gorgeous outdoor setting and get some beautiful painting going. I'm an artist as well in my day-to-day life. I love painting and sculpting and just making and doing things with my hands. It's sort of the biggest part of my identity, I think. I just think being a maker is who I am. And so I really like to put little touches of art galleries or maker objects into my Sims games because I can really identify with that. I'm interested to know if there's something that you guys are really into that you put into your games. Maybe it's, you know, gaming consoles, you have always got a really cool office space, or something that just really represents you and your own Sims games. Let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, I wanted this cute little area as well when you walk in the front door where the kids can pop off their backpacks and their shoes, because again, it is a family house. The thing with family houses as well, and with this house in particular, is I kind of went for a bit of a mismatched look on purpose. I grew up in a house, and I still, to this day, I have a house. I live with my partner Julian, and we have just accumulated heaps of furniture and stuff and clutter and whatever over years and years that just really don't match one another. They're not super cohesive, but I kind of love that. Like, I really love the authenticity of that, and I feel like it's the case for so many houses, especially families. Like, there's so many memories and different pieces of furniture, whether or not they mesh together or not. So in this house, I was really conscious of trying to have, you know, different odd couches and, you know, crazy artwork, lots of different plants, and not worry too much about it all being one specific style, if you will. So that's what we're kind of going for. And as you walked in as well, I wanted to create this little area where I could hang the light, and so to be able to do that I needed to put in some railings so it wasn't just hovering in the center of the sky, just because there is such a high glass ceiling. But anyway, we're now just at the side here. I just wanted to make the trim where the house joins those little columns in the basement a little bit nicer, and again I'm bringing in some more wood tones at the front here, making a little bit of a feature archway, I suppose, over the top of our front door. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm using those planks from not even the debug menu. I only just realized that if you type in wood into your search section, that heaps of different wooden planks come up, which would have been great to know 2 years ago when I started simming again and I just was trawling through the debug menu forever trying to find things. But anyway, we're just filling out the artist studio, which I was just mentioning before. Filling it with lots of clutter, lots of easels on the floor, just giving it a really nice homey vibe. And of course, a bathroom upstairs was important just because I hate when your Sims take about 4 hours to go and do anything. So having bathrooms just downstairs was going to be incredibly inconvenient, especially if your Sims are coming all the way from the pool area or are in the kitchen or whatever, or they have to go to work and then they miss work or get in trouble for being late because it takes them 25 minutes to go to the bathroom. So I've put a bathroom upstairs there, and now we're on to the kitchen. So I had so much fun with this kitchen. I am obsessed with it. I love it. I would just be stoked if this was my house in reality for so many reasons, but this kitchen, it's probably just the best part for me, I think. So it's got a black vibe about it and a nice wooden feature as well, just to soften it up and tie in the wooden frames of the window frames and the doors in the house as well. So I'm just sort of layering the marble object, that big rectangular black one, with itself and raising it up high using my 9 key on the keyboard, just to create sort of like a big marble slab at the top there, something that's a bit more intense than usual, but I like that. And I'm embedding my range hood into it, inside it. And so the rest of the kitchen again is black, just using nice simple black counters. And I also use a few more planks of wood or big column things that are made from wood just to hold the whole section in, which you'll see me popping in now. I think that these are quite structural and really chunky, and they just give it a bit of a nicer look than slapping a wall in and popping some wallpaper on it. I do that often, but I wanted to try something a little bit different this time, so that's what I'm doing here. And this kitchen's really cool because it's really long and skinny, and you've got a big island in the center, but you know, your fridge is sort of tucked away. It's just, I feel like spatially and the layout of this kitchen is really good, probably one of the better ones that I've done. It is a huge amount of space though, so mind you, I had a lot to work with. I would really struggle doing tiny houses. I just avoid them altogether because I just have no idea what I'm doing. I really do. I get so lost in the idea that people are able to create kitchens with like 4 tiles or something ridiculous. I don't understand. So I'm just going to keep sticking to my crazy mansion builds when I do residential, just so I don't have to have that problem figuring out how to make a tiny kitchen. But I will probably go back to doing some more community lots for you soon. I feel like community lots are really avoided in the Sims building community, and I feel like people just love making houses because that's really where the gameplay lives and where, you know, you spend most of your time are in the houses. But I feel as a simmer in the community that something I would love to see is more community lots. So rather than hoping and wishing and waiting for someone else to do it, I'm just going to do it. And I've made a few restaurants now and a park that I've shared, and you guys all really seem to like that, and the feedback has been so lovely. I can't thank you enough for all of your beautiful comments and feedback and care, and the fact that people are watching each week. I honestly can't tell you how much it means to me. I'm gonna get all sappy and teary, but this has just been a dream of mine for so long, to be able to make content for no reason other than to just make it for me because I enjoy it and I love it, and The Sims has been in my life for so long. But I never really thought that it would grow as quickly as it has, and let's be real, it hasn't really grown that fast. I've got 130 odd subscribers now, of which maybe 10 to 15 people I know intimately in my regular life. So the fact that there's over 100 people that I've never met who are just here because they love The Sims, the same way that I follow a whole bunch of other YouTubers who just love The Sims as well, it's just a beautiful feeling. I love the community aspect of it, and I'd love your feedback. If there's stuff you want to see or ways you think that I can improve as well, like please let me know, because I'm in it for you guys as much as I am for myself now. But anyway, I'll stop gushing about that. You can see me testing out a whole bunch of different wallpapers here behind the kitchen, and what I did was extend a huge bar area as well along to the left. I don't like the bars facing outwards like they normally are meant to with the Sims games in houses, in residential houses. I think that that's just a bit, I don't know, like it looks good in community lots and in bars and what have you, but in the home, especially in this setting, I just think it was going to be a bit too intense having it take up a whole corner. So I've tucked it away and put it against the wall, which I think is kind of what it would look like if you had it built in this house. And I'm bringing a bit of warmth and softness through all of the plants and the artwork, as well as with those rugs on the floor. I think it has like quite a bohemian look about it. I feel like when you look for bohemian kitchen ideas on Pinterest, that those rugs are what come up. So I've popped them in, and now I'm just sort of finessing wallpaper ideas and popping things on the walls here and there, and lighting, because as I mentioned before, you can't really have any hanging lighting up here because of the glass ceiling. So I've got lots of wall lights and lots of plants, and I'm just making it as homey as I can. And because it is such a high ceiling, I've got really tall plants up here as well. So I'm just popping again some more lights in here, as I mentioned, and I do end up changing the backdrop around that television to a stone rather than black. But you'll see that in the screenshots in the video at the end, rather than now, because that was a change I made off camera. But now we are back just doing a bit more landscaping, and I sort of wanted to encompass the entire house in this sort of cliff-like element that we saw at the front. And I think it just makes it look a lot more natural than the way that the terrain is constrained when it hasn't got any rocks around it. So I'm using that same trick again of placing flooring, and then once I've put all of my plants and elements in, I get rid of the floor and the terrain comes up and fills all the holes. And otherwise, I'm just popping lots of ivy and, you know, heaps of bushes and stuff everywhere just to fill it in as much as I can and make it look nice and natural. So that is the backyard area, or the back of the house, I should say, sorry, looking nice and natural and fairy tale like. And now we're just doing the little outdoor area in a minute as well. Not quite yet. Now we are. So out here, I wanted to try something I had never tried before, and I really struggled with it. So no judging, please. But I tried to make a little fire pit with an actual fireplace that's been scaled down. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because whilst I use the sort of trick of putting that coffee table into things on the inside where I've got it next to the television and it looks like a little bit of an internal fireplace there. When you use actual fireplaces, you get that gameplay element where Sims can warm themselves, and during during winter, it can really add positive moodlets. So I wanted to make a little fire pit here, which is what you're seeing me do now. As long as you're able to click onto the top of the fireplace and it's visible to your Sims, they can light it like a normal fireplace, even though you can't see it. So I do end up taking those rocks away off camera again later, so that when you do download this at the gallery, you're able to light the fireplace as usual and those rocks aren't in the way and hiding it. And it is functional, so I'm proud of myself for getting that to work. And otherwise, just out here, I am organising just a little bit of a herb garden. I know that out the front near the pool area I have another one of these, but I just figured if she's cooking in the kitchen, it's easier to come out here and grab some fresh herbs for cooking than it is all the way down nearby the pool. But otherwise, it's pretty simple out there. A nice little easel as well for doing some painting. And I think we're going to hop downstairs any second now and look at downstairs. But the other final touches I'm just putting out here is I was looking for a spot for a solar panel and I couldn't pop it on the roof, so instead I chose to go with just one of those little wind turbines, and I'm just neatening up the fringes of my roofing there as well. And in terms of the downstairs area, because it is a basement, it doesn't get much light, but that's okay because the two main important areas that need the light are the bedrooms, and they both look out onto that little summer, winter garden, whatever you want to call that, outside there. I've got a master bedroom and a second bedroom which has the two kids in it, so they're sharing a bedroom at this stage. But this downstairs basement does have a gym, so my intention behind that is that when my children's Sims get old enough, I can age them up and they can have their own bedrooms. I'll turn the gym into a teenager's bedroom. But for now, because they're kids, I kind of like the idea of them sharing a room. I think that that's really sweet. I shared a room with my sister, which I actually hated until I was like, maybe 12 or 13. And I hated sharing my room with her, and then we eventually did move into separate rooms, and I got so scared. I got so scared of the dark, and she wasn't there to take care of me anymore, and I don't know, I think that part of growing up that so many people can identify with, I just really like putting it into the game. But the annoying thing is that when there is a monster under the bed, it wakes both the kids up, and because there's two kids, there's always bloody monsters, and it's just a nightmare. I can't tell you how many times my poor Sim mum has had to wake up and go and spray that thing. I wish I could turn that thing off. I know that there's probably a way to do it, I just haven't explored it yet. And even when I use the night lights, like people say you can use night lights and that prevents them from coming, the monster from coming. I don't know, I haven't had great success with that. Maybe I'm using the wrong night light, but anyway. As for just this section here, it's more like a rumpus room or a family room, and I've just got a little gaming unit and a nice little wooden feature wall with a desk for mum if she's doing some work. And again, because I haven't uploaded this, or I have, uploaded this to the gallery, but I've done it from when I started the gameplay. So I like doing that because then I can put all of the kids' drawings and their school projects and other sort of clutter into the game and into the decor. So a few of the things I'm popping in now will have moved around a bit, as I mentioned earlier, but you can explore that for yourself. It's sort of like a lucky dip when you download it, figuring out what's changed. Very, very small minor things, I promise. But the rumpus room in particular, you can expect to be a little bit more cluttered up. And now we are just into the gym. We do have in this house the swimming pool, and you'll see me pop in a basketball ring as well into the winter garden. So once I do want to have one of my teenagers come into this room instead of it being a gym, it won't be the end of the world. There's still heaps of exercise stuff that they can do. It's a bit of a luxury that it's a gym at the moment, but anyway, it's just got your basics, and it does have a bathroom attached to it. I've kept that off camera because this video was getting really long, but it's just a really plain Jane bathroom. So I didn't show that bathroom, and I didn't show the one that's attached to the kids' room here because it's pretty much exactly the same. But For the kids' room, I am going with really bright colours, and I'm sort of anchoring those colours off the two main ones of yellow and aqua. I think it's just such a nice neutral, gender neutral colour palette. I don't really believe in gender stereotypes anyway. Even if I had two twin boys and I did a bright pink room, I would kind of love that. But there's something about aqua and yellow that just goes together so nicely, and I really like that rug that comes with Jungle Adventure that goes on the floor. I think that's super fun for kids. So that's what I've got there for a pop of colour for them. And now we're just into the master bedroom. So I've kind of separated the walkway here as you walk in with just some dresses and a nice little side table with a vase and some pictures. And then I've got my bed in the middle with a TV on the wall that I'll pop in as well. But I really like this space. It's super calming, and because of where it's situated downstairs, when the light comes in on the bed, it's just beautiful. Oh, it's nice. You'll see it in the screenshots at the end. But I'm using a nice feature wall there behind the bed to make it a bit of an interesting bed frame. And I've just got a little couch in the corner. And this bathroom I popped a window into as well, just so that if you were sitting in the bath, you're getting more natural light into the bathroom and you can sort of look out instead of just looking into a wall. And what I do here is I've tucked my little toilet in behind the shower there, and I've created this big double walk-in shower as well. Doesn't really need to be a double because she is a single mum, but as part of my gameplay, I do want to have her meet somebody when she's ready. I don't think she's ready yet. I think she's really focused on raising her kids and making sure they get through primary school okay, or elementary school as you call it in the US. And I think that when they become teenagers is when things are going to get a lot more interesting in this house for sure. But otherwise, it's a nice little zen space for mum there, somewhere she can go and retreat from the kids. And this is where the kids can go to retreat from mum, which is a bit of like a little outdoor chill spot. I did initially, forgot the word. I initially wanted to make this like a little glass atrium outdoor area, but I decided to give it a bit more function than that and put some other elements in. But we're about to finish up now, guys, and show you the rest of the build, so enjoy the screenshots and I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.